Hi, guys. An unavoidable challenge faced by recent inductees to Red Pill Life is to carve a revolutionary sense of meaning out of life. Think about it. Red Pill Life causes us to untether ourselves from biological destiny and reject countless generations of social programming. We defy conventional wisdom about what it means to be a man, and in ways, how we define our humanity. We task ourselves to resist extraordinary pressure to embrace toxic values like gynocentrism and to conform to what society wants us to be, namely the legendary copper tops of the Matrix. Oh, and when I say society, I am often, usually, including family and friends. The pressure comes from everywhere. Our ways of thinking are alien and offensive to most women, the other half of the population. Our very existence is distasteful to many of them. We are literally tossing most every conceivable way of fitting into a society onto a bonfire and dancing around the flames like Comanche braves, while a totally pissed-off world watches. It's fun and supremely liberating, and there are no doubt prices to pay for the privilege. The fact that our choices are entirely rational and evidence-based doesn't help us. Nor does the fact that most of us, all of us actually, couldn't untake the red pill if we tried. We can't unsee hypergamy. We can't just overlook female privilege, and we don't have the luxury of the denial required to be blind to our own disposability. It would suck if it weren't so liberating. It also puts us on a direct path to what I call the red pill salt mine, where we toil to deal with the massive task of redefining ourselves from the ground up, as we are compelled to do despite eons of programming that have us wired to believe that we are not worthy of the effort. All of this, mind you, only underscores how badass we really are. Men, I mean. Not only are we proving that this kind of change, this metamorphosis against ridiculous odds is possible, we've become a social movement that is doing it in a fashion that leaves the world powerless to stop it. It is our one man at a time revolution. Each challenge we overcome, each question we answer is a victory that carves who we are into our internal landscape. Questions like, as men, who are we without a woman's approval? Who are we with a woman who has no place on a throne? Who are we without mainstream consensus, without chivalry, and without shame for not being chivalrous? How do we shape our values and identities in a world that would roundly reject us if they knew our real thoughts? How do we make the world fit with us when we know that we don't fit with it? It's enough to make a man despondent, and a check of my inbox informs me that for many men, it does. I've been talking about that for a while. In a way, almost every video I do is pointing to these questions, and hopefully pointing to some practical answers. For my part, there's nothing more practical than a shovel and a willingness to dig. Red Pill Life leaves some holes to be filled. Lots of them, actually. One is the fact that we have to do without the pats on the head that come with a life as servile woman pleasers. Even if you put on the act, the positive group consensus won't feel redeeming. You'll hear the words when they laud you for playing the cuck, but it will sound like praise for a puppy that didn't piss on the rug. Another hole is left by your shattered blue pill ideas of women and relationships. And get this, even if you find a unicorn with whom you can be reasonably happy, there will still be the very same hole in your life. Any woman who can willingly and successfully pair bond with a red pill man is not the woman of your blue pill fantasies. She won't fit in that narrative any more than you will. There's a million other little pits in your existence, all losses of sorts, and you notice them every time red pill reality crosses paths with the remnants of your blue pill ambitions. I don't think there's an alternative path that will restore a red pill man to a feeling of full equilibrium with the world. Once again, we are talking about life totally and completely against the grain. There is no way for us to feel totally normal and comfortable in this abnormal world. No amount of acting or pretending will change that. But we can and must learn to make compensatory adjustments. They say that necessity is the mother of invention. I say bullshit. It's the father. Red pill men must cope with the total reconstruction of their life narrative, almost always involving 1,000 shattered dreams. If they don't do a good job on the remodel, they can and do end up in trouble. And I'm asserting here is one of the best possible starts to that end, some intensive work on the foundation. Gentlemen, do something. And don't just do something. Do something you love, something you've got passion about, and do it until you achieve excellence. It doesn't matter what it is. Photography, poker, rock climbing, blacksmithing, playing chess, writing, knife throwing, candle making, hunting, anything. Whatever it is, if you love it and passionately aim for excellence, you won't just be filling one of those holes. You'll be pouring that new foundation. Blue pill life doesn't make room for what you love or what you feel passion for. It only allows for what you produce, almost always for others. That is the only sense of value you are ever allowed, socially speaking. That includes the people who supposedly love you the most. This is why economic downturns linked below are directly, empirically tied to spikes in male suicide. Because we are all conditioned in the core belief that men who are not doing what they're obligated to do, that being taking care of others, well, those men are just taking up too much room in the world. Better that they're gone. The pursuit of what we love, valuing that over doing what we must, well, that is something for which men are humiliated and shunned in the blue pill world. In that light, there is no better nor more noble red pill ambition than to become accomplished at something you love, and then to turn around and use whatever rewards may come from that to enhance your own well-being. It doesn't matter, mind you, if what you love turns out to be something you get paid for. I mean, when that happens, it's great, it's pure gravy, the best kind, because you'll spend that money improving your own life, and you'll be pursuing your own greatness. But a paycheck for what you love isn't required. All you have to do is remember that it is the passion, not the paycheck, that defines you. And your passion is exactly what you are wresting from the strangling fingers of the blue pill world. And, oh yeah, you have to remember, it's on you to get this done. It's another aspect, another iteration of going your own way. And it's the last thing the world wants you to do, which of course makes for a pretty damned good reason to do it. I almost wish this were more complicated. There would be a lot more for me to say, many different nuances to cover. I would get to practice more of my passion, which is writing. But the fact is that if you want to fill in the holes in your red pill life and find a sense of purpose that isn't subject to being knocked the hell down by other people, then the way to get there is pretty simple.
Do you know what the secret of life is?
No, what?
This.
Your finger?
One thing. Just one thing. You stick to that and everything else don't mean shit.
That's great, but what's the one thing?
That's what you gotta figure out.
As always, guys, I hope you've enjoyed, even if you haven't, and we'll see you next time.